He didn't scream. He didn't plead. He just paused, and the world waited. Tens of thousands. Mouths open. Hands raised. He said the sky was green. They applauded. He blamed the poor for the rich man's crimes. They clapped louder. He rewrote history, and they quoted him like scripture. No proof. No logic. Just belief. Not because he made sense, but because he made them feel seen. His name isn't important, because there are dozens like him. Different faces. Same voice. And that voice, it doesn't demand obedience. It whispers. You've always believed this. They said, we fight for peace, but drop bombs in silence. They said, we speak truth while rewriting every record. One leader promised jobs, while quietly laying off thousands. Another vowed to protect the people, then sold their land to corporations. It didn't matter. The crowd still cheered. Why? Because truth became optional, and emotion became king. He didn't need facts. He needed a feeling. He didn't win votes with logic. He won with belonging. He made people feel like part of a team, a family, a war. And in war, facts are enemies. Doubt is betrayal. So when he spoke, they wanted to believe him because believing felt good and questioning felt dangerous. Even when he was caught lying, his followers said, that's just media manipulation. Even when promises broke, they said, he's still better than the others. This isn't about left or right, east or west. It's about control, about the art of using trust like a weapon and wrapping lies in loyalty. They don't force you to believe. They make you want to, and that's the genius of it. Ever heard of the illusion of truth effect? The more you hear a lie, the more your brain starts believing it. Not because it's true, but because it's familiar. Say it once, it's strange. Say it 10 times, it's truth. Then comes cognitive dissonance. Your brain hates being wrong. So when a leader you support does something bad, you twist the facts to protect your own belief. You must be right because I already believed in you. Now add tribal psychology. We're wired to follow groups, to belong, to defend our side. Even if our side is lying, leaders use this. They create an us versus them world. Us, the victims. Them, the liars, elites, outsiders. When you feel threatened, logic shuts down. Emotion takes over. And fear, it's the fastest way to take control. Then comes anchoring bias. The first thing you hear sticks hardest. If a leader says the system is corrupt, even when you hear the truth later, you still doubt it because your anchor was already set. They also use scarcity. Time is running out. Freedom is dying. Act now or lose everything. It triggers panic. And panic turns people into puppets. And don't forget charisma illusion. The more confident they sound, the more we assume they're right. Not because of what they say, but how they say it. Calm tone, big promises, smiles between lies. It works again and again. They're not controlling you with chains. They're using your own mind as a leash. Let's take a look at Hitler in 1930s Germany. He blamed the Jews, the outsiders. He used fear. They're taking our economy, our pride, our future. He didn't need logic. He needed anger. That's how an entire nation followed him into war. Next, Joseph McCarthy in 1950s America. He claimed communists were everywhere. In your schools, in your government, people panicked. No real evidence, but the fear worked. Careers were destroyed based on paranoia. Or think of modern populist leaders. They say, the media lies, only I speak the truth. And it works, because once trust is broken, people cling to anything that sounds bold and certain. Example, North Korea. The regime controls all information. They teach from childhood that their leader is a god. It's not just force. It's belief control crafted since birth. Even in democratic countries, this happens. A politician repeats a phrase like, fake news, stolen election, enemies of the people. Even if there's zero proof, the repetition reshapes public opinion. During Brexit, slogans like, take back control, spread like wildfire. Short, emotional, no details, just a feeling. That's what persuasion thrives on. Emotion over explanation. Same with marketers. They use FOMO, fear of missing out, limited offer, everyone switching. You don't even stop to think. You just react. Remember the Cambridge Analytica scandal? Data was used to manipulate voter behavior through micro-targeting. You saw the exact post meant to trigger your brain. That's not a conspiracy. That's psychology weaponized. Whether it's a dictator, a democratic leader, or an influencer. They don't need facts to win. They need the right trigger for your brain. And once your emotions take over, they've already won. The first step to defending your mind is awareness. If you don't know you're being manipulated, you'll never resist it. Start by asking, who benefits if I believe this? That one question cuts through emotional fog like a knife. Second, always check for emotional triggers. If something makes you angry, scared, or overly patriotic, pause. That's not truth. That's manipulation bait. Be especially cautious with repetition. If a phrase is repeated in every speech, headline, or post, it's likely trying to bypass your logic and settle into your subconscious. Catch it, name it, block it. Also, study the absence of facts. When someone says people are saying, ask who. When they say we all know, challenge it. Vague words are shields for lies. Practice cognitive dissonance tolerance, meaning be comfortable holding two opposing ideas temporarily. Truth isn't always instant. It needs reflection. Next, build a habit of delay. Before reacting to a tweet, a speech, or a shocking headline, wait 10 minutes. Your emotional brain cools down. Your rational brain catches up. Use diverse information sources. Don't stay in an echo chamber. Expose yourself to opposing views, not to agree but to understand. That's how you sharpen your thinking. Beware of false urgency. Phrases like act now, before it's too late, are often pressure tactics. Real truth doesn't need panic. Also, understand social proof is a trick. Just because everyone is clapping doesn't mean they're right. Crowds can be wrong. Loud doesn't equal true. Start journaling your reactions. When something triggers you, write it down. What did they say? Why did you react? Pattern spotting will help you identify personal weak spots. And never forget, confidence isn't truth. Loud voices can be empty ones. And leaders who fear your questions usually have something to hide. Trust isn't a gift, it's a reward. Make people earn it, because the most powerful mind is the one that thinks for itself. So next time a leader speaks with passion, before you nod your head, ask yourself, am I thinking or am I being made to feel something? Manipulation doesn't always wear a mask. Sometimes it smiles. Sometimes it gives speeches. Sometimes it makes you feel like part of a movement when you're actually part of a script. But here's the truth. You hold the power, not the media, not the politician, not the crowd. You, the world needs thinkers, not followers, skeptics, not just believers. People who ask why before saying yes. If this video helped you think deeper, subscribe for more truth-backed psychological storytelling. Drop a comment. Have you ever realized you were being manipulated after it was too late? And remember, in a world full of noise, the most dangerous weapon is a quiet mind that sees through the lies.